Hey guys! All right, we are here for Level Up Lesson. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. It was being all wonky on letting me hop in. So as you're joining, say hi. Let me know that you are here and that you can see and hear me, since sometimes that doesn't work exactly as planned. Today we are going to be talking about how to establish your authority using social media, a topic that, if you know, I'm really obsessed with because it really is one of the most important things that most business owners skip over. So as you're popping in, say hi and let me know that you're here. I'm going to make sure I tag some people who wanted to be here, since Facebook doesn't always show me to everyone. Let me know when you're joining. Hey Angela, so glad you are here. We're talking about establishing authority using social media. And as you're popping in, just tell me how you're getting your week started off so I know that you are here, and so that I can see how your week is starting. And then we'll jump right in. All right. Perfect. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to talk about, hey, Casey. I know it takes a minute for some people, so I want to make sure. Talking about the good stuff, guys. So tell me how you started your week off this week as you're hopping in, so I know you're here and can just see where you're at with everything. All right. I think we've gotten some few people tagged so you can see. All right. So every week I come live and I talk to you about what I call the level up lessons. Today is probably one of my favorite topics. Yay, I'm so glad you guys are all here. We're going to be talking about leveraging authority and specifically how to use social media to leverage our authority. I feel like this is a topic that kind of gets glazed over, but it's probably the most important thing you need to know in your business, and it drives me crazy how few people actually understand how to use authority in their business. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. I want to first start by explaining to you guys that authority is literally the way for you to stand out from the crowd, but more importantly, be able to command prices and get ready to act buyers in your business. So if you feel like you're attracting all the wrong people, or maybe you're attracting people to your business, but you want to really increase that and you want to work less in order to be able to achieve that, that's all about authority. So I always ask people, what's the biggest objection you're getting? If it's a price objection or I'm just not ready objection, it's usually that you haven't established authority in your business. So hands up if you feel like you've come up against that whole idea of like, I can't afford your services, or it sounds good, but I'm not sure, because that really gives me a good idea of where you're at. So before I jump in, for those of you guys who are new here, my name is Nazha Taveri. I'm a business growth strategist, and I help people leverage their authority and create an easy yes pathway so that they can get to yes faster, but more importantly, attract and retain dream clients. So we want to talk about why authority is really important, okay? There's psychology behind our sales. There's psychology behind the way we market our business, right? Whether or not you've ever thought about that, that's okay. That's not, I know that you're not all expert marketers and salespeople, but there's a psychology behind the things we do, and a huge integral piece of that is trust, okay? So we want people to trust us, and people need to feel like they know, like, and trust us in order for them to say yes, in order for them to make confident decisions, and in order for them to actually see you as a leader, right? So trust is what I call the crux of authority. It's what actually allows us to reduce or remove doubts from the people that we're serving and help them really feel confident and ultimately make it easier to attract and convert leads. Cool. Krista says, I'm getting price and timing. That's perfect. That makes me know where you're at and what the struggle is, okay? So remember, authority is about leadership. So I want you to drop leader in the comments below or in the chat below, because I want you guys to realize authority isn't just about us being loud. It's about us establishing leadership, okay? How do you lead the way for others in your industry? And how do you lead people to you, okay? So there's three key pieces that go into us establishing our authority and using social media specifically to do this. The three things I'm going to talk about are you clear on your innovative value? So that's number one. Innovative value is number one thing that we have to do before everything else. Okay, Casey said she's not having those conversations yet. That's okay. Doesn't mean we can't establish authority now. Number two is establishing credibility. Why should people trust you? You've heard me having these conversations over the last couple of days of like, why should anyone trust me? I need to give them the reason why they should trust me. So each of these feeds into each other. The last but not least is confidence. Having the confidence around what we're doing so that we can amplify your voice and be seen as an authority. Okay, so 3 key pieces that we're talking about is being clear on your innovative value, establishing credibility, and then finding your confidence factor so that you can actually amplify your voice. Okay, so drop a 1 if so far this is all making sense. You guys see where we're headed, because this is the answer to getting more leads, but it's also the answer to converting and retaining leads inside your business, which is just as important as bringing them in. Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of people are overcreating, oversharing, and just doing too much. Okay, and so what they're doing is trying to draw attention into their business, but they have no clarity around their innovative value. So imagine you bringing all these people into your business, and I ask this question all the time. If you brought 10 new people into your business, would you be clear on how to share your value? Most of us want to say yes because it just feels good, right? But the truth of the matter is, would you know what to say if a horde of people, a group of people came to your business? Would you know what to say to them to make them feel comfortable and confident with what you offer? Okay, so tell me down below, yes or no. If you had 20 new people come to your business and say, I want to learn more, would you feel confident in the value that you share? Would you feel confident in the process that you lead them on? That's all authority, right? That's all us feeling confident in what we're doing. It's all about quality over quantity. We don't want to produce more noise. We don't want to just be a loud person in the marketplace. We want to be the leader of the marketplace. That's our goal, okay? We want to be a go-to for solving problems. But here's where it comes to the really incredible part. Most people are solving unfocused amount of problems. So meaning, sorry, I got tripped up on my words there. But if we don't have focused efforts, if we don't have focused area that we're serving in, then we're trying to solve the whole world's problems. And the problem for that is, how can you become a go-to expert if you don't know what you're an expert in? Okay? So, starts with number 1, knowing your value innovation. What makes you unique? Right? I've been asking this question everywhere, and it seems to trigger a lot of people for them to understand what makes them unique. But here's the deal, guys. And in a way, I get it that it triggers people. Knowing what makes you unique and what makes you stand out and what makes you innovative is integral to your success and to your long-term sustainable growth. That means I can't just come up and show up in a crowd and say, look at me and listen to me, but have nothing of value to bring to the table. That's noise. Those are the people who are contributing to the noise. So Carissa says, yes, I want to pull in my effort so that they're targeted and converting. Natasha says, I know the value of what I offer, but I get too excited about it and I trip over my words and I find that I ramble. That's why having that innovative value is so important. So we're going to talk about how do we figure out our innovative value, okay? What makes you unique is the very first question you should be able to answer. We should be able to say, how am I different? How am I unique in the crowd, in the market? Okay? So it starts by knowing your industry, knowing your competitors, and how you differentiate. Okay? The number 1 thing they teach you in business school is literally knowing your competitive analysis, knowing how you stand out in a group of competitors. This has become something that a lot of people shy away from because we want to believe that competition doesn't exist. But competition doesn't exist only when we create our own pathway. But it starts by understanding the industry. We can't be a leader if we don't understand the industry. So the first thing I tell people is you have to understand your industry and you have to understand what other solutions are out there. Okay, so step 1, solutions. So pop a 1 in the comments if you understand that our first step is to look at what other solutions are out there. Doesn't mean it's the best solution. Doesn't mean that you need to say that I'm the only one. It just is, it's a matter of you being clear on there are other people who solve a similar or same problem that you do. Okay? But I need to understand who they are and what they offer for me to be able to create my unique value, for me to be able to differentiate. Okay? So drop a 1 if we're getting into this idea of I'm going to understand my industry and how I differentiate. Okay? Now, the reason why this is so important is once I know my industry, I know how I'm different, I can then fill the gaps. Okay? I talk about this all the time. You hear, like, if you've watched my video on booking or discovery calls, we have to be able to fill a gap. We can't fill a gap if we don't know what the gap is. Okay? A lot of people are creating hypothetical solutions to problems they're not sure are happening. Okay? So knowing our industry, and I say find 2 to 3 competitors, get to know what they're doing and how you're different, is our step 1. Good, I'm saying lots of ones. Ones. Good, everywhere. That step 2 is understanding how we fill the gaps. Every industry has a gap. Every person experiences some reason. Like, why did they not work with the other person out there? Or maybe they did work with that person, and why do they not sure they want to work with someone else? In my industry, people are it's the most saturated industry ever. There's business coaches galore. I'm a business strategist, and the whole thing is, how do I fill the gap of what everyone else is providing? Okay? So that's number 2 in this area, is knowing how to fill the gap. How do you solve that problem in a unique way that allows you to fill a gap? Okay, so drop a 2, because I want you guys to understand we're filling that gap. We're getting to really understand what's happening in the industry. How do I fill this gap in the industry? How am I a unique solution? Okay, so that was number 2, is how do we fill that gap? So I always tell people, if this seems hard for you, or you're like, why do I have to do this? I want you to think about, if you applied for a job and you were at an interview and somebody asked you, why are you the right candidate? What would you say? Same thing goes in our business. We have to be able to say, I'm the right candidate because. Okay? Because whether or not you realize it or not, we're all applying for jobs. We're all applying to serve our clients. When we put them first, then we realize in order to serve them, we have to know why we're the right candidate for them. So if you see me talking about this conversation, I've stirred up a lot with this, where I say to people, you just saying I'm great, I have a great personality, you would never say that at a job interview. You never go up to someone and say, I'm the best candidate because I have a good personality. You'd have more to say to that. You'd have more ways to back up that credibility, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about how that looks, but I want you guys to understand, okay? So what unique value do I bring to the table? That's the answer we need to be able to say. So again, why are you the right candidate? Why are you the solution, the unique, innovative solution to their problems, okay? Again, the way we can go about doing this is establishing yourself as one specific solution to one specific problem. The more we become an expert in that specific area, you can be the person whose name is associated with solving that problem. That means not tethering ourselves to 10,000 different things, but getting specific, okay? This is a very specific thing I help my clients with. I call it dynamic framework, okay? Allows them to get out of the red ocean strategy, which is I'm in a saturated market and I'm competing, into a blue ocean strategy of I'm the only person who does what I do and does it in the way that I do it. Okay, dynamic framework is what I call this. So get focused on a very specific area. People like coaches, people like social media managers, people like copywriters and virtual assistants, this is where the blue ocean strategy, where getting dynamic framework becomes really, really important to your innovative value. Okay? So getting focused is number 3. Drop a 3 because I want to make sure you guys are following along with that. Getting focused. So many people struggle with this. They're having conversations about 10,000 different topics, and they're wondering why people don't associate them with one topic. Okay? We want to get really specific on those. The next thing that we're going to talk about is what I call what do you stand for? The call out. Okay? So it's really important that we understand 2 basic parameters around this. What do you stand for and what you don't, okay? It's just as important for us to know about both. So it's about authentically and powerfully connecting with people, right? At the crux of everything we're doing is building trust, right? And with trust is me connecting with people. I don't want to get shy away from that and for us to understand that. But what do you stand for, right? Like if someone were to come to you and say, what do you stand for? Would you be able to clearly identify that? Would you be able to really stand on your own 2 feet loudly and proudly saying, these are the things I stand for? It's not just about what you say, it's about what you do that creates credibility, okay? So I could sit here and say I help people get clients. Cool. That's not enough for me to be an authority. But I can say I help people get clients by leveraging authority and creating an easy yes pathway. I'm getting specific. And then I'm building credibility around these very, very specific things because I can connect on these things. So a big important thing that happens within this is for us to be able to shift people's beliefs. Okay, how can we get people to see us as an authority? We shift their beliefs. We get them to see something different than what they already see. Because again, we are not trying to compete in a saturated marketplace. We're trying to stand out and create our own path. Okay, so I want you guys to say shift because I want you to understand we're shifting beliefs so that we're not in a saturated market. Competing in a saturated market doesn't work. It's long, it's exhausting, it's frustrating, it's inconsistent. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want that for myself. So I say to people, it's just as important for you to repel people, hey Carla, as it is for you to repel people, as it is for you to attract people. This is scary for people. And especially in the beginning of your business, most people don't want to do this. Because why would you want to turn away business? But the truth of the matter is, in repelling certain people, we're only bringing in and calling in the right people. I have to be willing to repel some to attract the right people and establish my authority by doing so. Okay? I don't sit here and say that I give you the easiest way. I say I give you the sustainable way. I help you create something that's sustainable in your business, not your first 10K month, right? I don't want to be contributing to the noise. I want to stand out. I want to be different. Unlike high school, where we all wanted to fit in, this is your chance to shift. I want to be different. Okay? So remember, it's just as important to repel as it is to attract. Get comfortable with repelling people. So drop repel because I want you to say that over and over again. I will be open to repelling people because that's actually a part of our attraction process. It's part of us establishing authority. Okay? Have those hard conversations out there that get people thinking, that get people feeling, and get people to take action. Because guess what? If we're not having the hard conversation, we're going to be inspirational. The problem with being inspirational is people don't take action. Okay? We want to get out of the I want more likes, and I want people to think. I want people to be like, oh my gosh, like get some emotions coming out. Chris says I'm repelling. It's okay. That means that we're opening up for the other opportunities, okay? So super important. I want you guys to understand this. Have the hard conversations, okay? Are you having hard conversations in your business right now? Are you willing to say things that maybe make people a little triggered? Not in a bad way, but get them to think? I shared with you guys, I very openly shared with you guys how recently I've been putting out some content that really triggered some people about competing, about feeling like they had to stand out. I don't do this to be mean. I do it because I want people to actually take action. I want them to really see and feel something enough to take action. So if I create content that just makes people feel good all the time, they're not going to take action. They're not going to remember your name. They're not going to think twice about you. Okay? Versus if I create content that triggers them in a good way, meaning it gets them to think, they're going to remember my name. They're going to be like, that's the girl, because they created a conversation. I opened up a space to have conversations that are raw. Okay? So again, I'm asking you, and I want you to drop it in, are you having the hard conversations? Or are you keeping it surface level? Are you keeping it to the conversations that just make people feel good? Because inspiration doesn't lead to action. You want to be someone who attracts action, not just inspiration. Now, can you be inspiring as part of your action? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I want people to take action. I want people to see results. I don't just want to make them feel good. Okay? Unless you're a motivational speaker, we want people to take action. So drop action. Because that should be your goal in every piece of content that you create, is to get people to take action, not just inspire, okay? So here are some key things you can think about to start really bringing this into how you can do this in social media. Number one, what's not being said in your industry? I had this conversation actually with Abby this morning where I said, what are the things you really want to say out loud? What are the things that you're sick and tired of not being said in your industry? That's one conversation I just gave you to get started on. Okay? What's not being said in your industry that you're done being quiet about? Number 2, what are you tired of hearing in your industry? Okay? So it's a double-edged sword, right? Natasha says, my tough love always wants the difficult conversation. Surface level doesn't accomplish anything. No. And it's really, Natasha, and you'll learn this in Sustainable Profit Academy. I'll teach you how to take surface level conversations and make them deep. Because it's hard for people to be able to do one or the other. So we learn how to mold them together. It's super powerful. Super awesome. Good. I'm seeing action. I'm seeing a lot of you not post action, which makes me want to think, are you ready to get people to trigger them to take action? Or you want to keep being the person who gets them to inspire? Inspired is beautiful. I used to get messages all the time that says, you inspired me. Do you think they signed up to work with me? No. They went and worked with someone else who actually made them take action, who made them think twice about what they were doing. Okay? So the 2 key pieces I need you to be able to answer, and you could literally create content around this specifically, what's not being said in your industry that you're sick and tired of. So for example, I say to people all the time, what's not being said is that delivering results is just as important, if not more important, than sales and marketing. Delivering results should come up here. Sales and marketing should come next. That's the conversation that's not being had in my market, and I'm sick and tired of it. Number 2 is, what are you tired of hearing in your industry? What are you sick and tired of people talking about in industry? For me, again, I'll give you an example. I'm sick and tired of people telling people that you can make 10K in 1 month and you're done. Entrepreneurship isn't easy, y'all. If you think it is, you signed up for the wrong game. Okay? Entrepreneurship takes heart. It takes drive. It takes resilience. So don't go in it for the easy path of just everything's going to be awesome and flowers and rainbows, okay? So what's not being said, so drop not, because I want you to make sure you hear that. What's not being said in your industry? What are you tired? So drop not if you got number 1. Number 2 is, what are you tired of hearing in your industry? What are you ready to say, I'm done. We're ready to change the game. What are we tired of in our industry? Okay? Because that's how we call people in. We want to call people in who are ready for change. We're done competing. We want to make our own path. Okay? So I want to give you an example. I have clients who literally have used just a single piece of content, who've used webinars, challenges, lives like this to help people shift their beliefs, to draw people in, draw those right clients in and repel the ones that aren't. Imagine being able to create a piece of content that delivers innovative value, makes it undeniable that you are the answer to their problem. Okay, that's exactly what my clients have done. They've created literally 1 piece of content that brings in 5 figures because they get super clear on their innovative value, and then they get super clear on telling what they stand for and what they don't. Okay? One key thing I want you to be able to take away from this is pick an evergreen pain point that you're going to have a conversation around. Okay? Don't pick a pain point that's going to come and go for people. Pick a pain point that's a hard one. That's something that people are constantly struggling with, okay? So if you're a copywriter, it's going to be constantly creating copy that stands out, right? If you're someone who helps people lose weight, it's how to stick to the plan, right? For me, it's how to get clients and retain them. That's a common thread that's going to constantly come up. Don't solve a problem that's not evergreen, okay? And the thing I want you to take away from this area of what we just talked about was stop looking for attention and start making an impression. Down for attention, up for impression, okay? I want to hear impression or a smiley face or something because I want you guys to really understand when we're creating anything, any conversations we're having, when we're showing up, we're done seeking attention, we're ready to make an impression, okay? We're going to move into the last piece, which is confidence, okay? I see a ton of people who skip steps. They want to run paid ads. They want to do all of these other pieces, but they don't have the confidence because they haven't established number 1 and number 2. Okay? Number 1 was that clarity. Number 2 is really understanding how our credibility behind what we do. And then it's confidence, right? That's where we start to amplify our voice. You cannot amplify your voice until you're clear on those other pieces. Okay? starts with getting in the mix. So if I have now done step 1 and step 2, I've gotten super crystal clear on my innovative value. I've shifted my credibility by really showing up and having those tough conversations and built credibility around those. Then I'm ready to amplify. How do we amplify? We get in the mix. Your simple association with other experts breeds familiarity. Okay? I want you to breed familiarity. I want people to say, even if they've never seen your name before, I want them to say, I see where she's going. I'm paying attention to her. Okay? If you're new in business and you're struggling to establish your name, associate yourself with other people. Create collaboration opportunities. Create opportunities where you can leverage other people's voice and other people's space to get yours heard. Okay? I literally booked podcasts like a crazy person when I first started my business. I joined every summit that someone would let me in on because I got hyper specific on my innovative value. I proved my credibility behind that, and then I amplified the heck out of it. Okay, so we're now talking about amplify. I want to make sure you guys are in amplify, so drop amplify in the comments, okay? So again, align yourself with someone else where you can amplify your voice. Big part of what we teach in Sustainable Profit Academy is how to amplify your voice, but it doesn't work until you have those pieces. Okay? So I want you to be able to establish your name, and the fastest way to do this without trying to book all this media and all this other stuff and spend years and years doing this is leveraging other people's authority. Just as important. Okay? But it starts with that focused and aligned action. Stop trying to do all the things in all the places. Doesn't work. Do less. Simplify your process. So if you're somebody who's like, I'm ready to amplify, I've gotten through step 1 and I've gotten through step 2 and I'm ready to go and amplify, remove all of the blocks to your success. Guess what some blocks are? Doing too many freaking things that your voice is being diluted. I need your voice to be super loud, not loud, but I need your voice to be amplified. That's not going to work if we're trying to do all of the things. So simplify. Drop simplify in the comments because I want to make sure that part of amplifying is simplifying. Key piece. My clients who scale quickly have done so because they're doing less, not more. Simplify. It's about focused and aligned action that gets the results. So the final piece of that establishing of our authority is not that we want to just be loud. We don't want to be the loud, obnoxious person who's just showing up in all the places, but I have nothing to draw people in. I have no credibility. I have no specificity, no simplicity. Okay? I'm doing too much. You're doing too much is not going to get you anywhere. It's about having something innovative to say. So create very hyper-focused conversations. Talk about just the things that make you feel super smart. I ask this question in here all the time. What do you feel like the smartest person in the room? That's the conversation that needs to be had. The thing that you feel like the smartest person in the room. Stick to that one conversation and nothing else. I don't need you talking about the 10,000 other things that you like and enjoy. I want you to talk about the thing that you feel like the smartest person in the room and amplify the life out of that. Okay? So again, I want to repeat that. It's not about being louder. It's about having something innovative to say. Focused conversations. So drop focus in the comments. Focused conversations on focused topics that make us feel smarter. Most entrepreneurs are not focused. They're having conversations on everything out there. All the issities. Right? I dropped all the issities today, Abby. Okay? Focused conversations that are going to highlight that value innovation that we talked about in number 1. Those are the things that make you feel confident. That's how we amplify your voice. Social media is an incredible microphone. An incredible way to grab a megaphone and make your voice louder. But you cannot make your voice louder if you don't have anything to speak on. If you don't have innovative opportunities. If you don't have anything that makes you stand out, then you're just contributing to the noise. So I always tell people, stop putting a megaphone to your broken message. Okay? So we're going to be focused so that we create focused conversations and focused results. Hey, Josephine. The biggest change I see for people is when they have massive clarity around their messaging and position. Suddenly, they go from being this best kept secret to being the person in everyone's mouth. Now, I want to give you some super quick ways that if you have your messaging on point, you know your value innovation, you're ready to amplify your voice, collaboration. find people who you can collaborate, who can make your voice be heard. Okay? Number 2, video content. Guys, you cannot overlook video content. I don't care if you're shy. Video content is a super easy way for you to get your voice across. But again, doesn't work well if we're not clear. So you see how all of these things literally have to work together. Video content. And last but not least, is it an even more powerful way of video content is value action. Okay? So how can someone see you in action? If you're struggling to get people to see what you do in a really concise way, create value action. Maybe you do some live coaching. Maybe you give people a way to see your value in a very live way. Things like challenges and things like that allow people to establish authority pretty quickly. Okay? So a quick recap, things that we talked about today, is that we're clear on our innovative value. Step 1, do not move further until you are 100% clear on this. Drop a 1 if you're 100% clear on your innovative value. Drop a 2 if you are not, and it's okay. I just want to make sure we know where you are and you don't jump steps. Ooh, podcast works as well, Natasha. I will say there's something about video content because podcasts are recorded, and I would say mostly live video content because podcasts are recorded, and the cool thing about it is watching someone in action, watching someone do something live. So 1, if you know your innovative value, you're crystal clear on what makes you stand out. 2, if you are not, if you're still figuring those pieces out, that's okay. Okay? The next thing we talked about is establishing credibility. How are you going to establish credibility? We just to, again, recap that, we're going to know what we're tired of, like what we're not going to, we're ready to call out the noise. This is essentially what happens. Number 3 that we talked about is your confidence. How do we amplify our voice once we've established those things? I'm getting some 1s and some 2s. No right answer here, guys. It's just about being honest with yourself so that you can move forward. Okay? And then that number 3, like we said, was literally, are you ready to amplify your voice? Are you ready to pour gasoline on that bad boy and make the whole world see and hear you? Then it becomes really easy. It's just about doing the things that get us there. Okay? So again, really important that we understand that step 1 leads to step 2 that leads to step 3. Don't jump in. Don't jump to different spaces when you're not ready. I see a ton of people jumping to the amplification when they do not have a clear message. They are not clear on their innovative value. Okay? So if you are struggling with any piece of this puzzle, I want you to drop authority in the comments below. I'm going to reach out to you if you're struggling with any of these pieces. If you don't know what you're doing and you're struggling with either step 1, step 2, or step 3, drop authority in the comments below. This is actually exactly what I work with my clients on, is not feeling like we're hustling our faces off, but we're establishing our authority and creating a pathway that makes it so easy for people to say yes every single time. Okay? If that's something you want to hear more about, drop it in the comments, drop authority, and I'll come back and we'll chat. Because I don't know about you, but I've seen clients literally spend 2+ years trying to get to that next level, but they haven't established authority, so they're amplifying a voice on a broken message. Okay? So any questions for you? I'm going to give you guys a second to jump in and ask any questions. While I do that, I'm going to share with you, because I know it's a little behind, I'm going to share with you, this is exactly what we do inside the Sustainable Profit Academy. I help my clients establish authority first. Okay? Know what their value innovation is and get super crystal clear. Then we create a lead system, how to draw people in. Now that we know that, how do we draw people in to make that work like clockwork? Step number 3 is how do we amplify that? How do we deliver massive results for your business so that you can amplify your voice and retain clients? Because it's not just about attracting, it's about retaining them. Okay? All of those things happen when we have each piece of the puzzle working. Do not be strayed by these people who tell you you just need one piece. It's not sustainable. It doesn't get you anywhere. Okay? So drop authority if you want to chat more about how this plays into your business, how you can establish authority in your business to actually make it happen a lot faster. Okay? Because I can show you exactly how that looks. Any questions about anything we've talked about today? How you establish authority? How you actually use social media to leverage your authority once you've established it? Any questions? This is a good topic, guys. This is my favorite topic ever. So it's not about being louder. We're here to make people take action. We're here to get people to actually do the things that make that impression, that get people to say, you are the person I need to solve the problem that I have that's very specific, very simple, and very strategic. Okay? No questions. All right, if you guys don't have any questions, then I'm going to hop off. If you do have some questions, let me know in the comments down below. Pop into my DMs. If you're watching on replay, same rules apply. Go ahead and hop in, ask any questions, and I'll come back to you guys. But I want to see you guys going out and creating action elements and not just inspiration elements, okay? It's time to start taking action and really creating the results that you want in your business and be the go-to in your industry, because it's time to be in demand. It's not, if you want to book out your business, it doesn't come from you hustling your face off, okay? All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this training. Can't wait to see how you go out and put your authority into the world. Bye, guys.